Hey guys, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn, and in today's video, I'm reviewing the toughest droids in Star Wars, the Dark Trooper. Okay, now this is a Black Series that we've gotten for The Mandalorian, obviously. And it's a Black Series that they created an entirely new mold for. And they do this with all kinds of droids. I'm really happy that Hasbro's been doing this. Huyang has a whole new mold. We got a Magna Guard. They're just, all these cool droids are getting cool, new, creative molds. And I think it all started with the Dark Trooper, because this is the one where we really started getting it. And now we're finally getting super battle droids in Black Series form. And I honestly think it's to thank the Dark Trooper is to thank for that, because this one sold so well. Now, for the actual review of this figure, I think this is an amazing figure, okay? The figure is taller than your average figure. Like, here he is up against Crosshair, for example. Here's the height difference. They clearly make the Dark Trooper taller and, like, built bigger, like a more muscular, or, I mean, it is a droid, but still, like, they're bigger. So the droid is taller and more, like, well, wider and just, like, has a stronger build to it than your average Black Series figure. And then, other than that, this droid has so much cool articulation. Like, in the chest here, you can see, I'm going to take away his blaster for now, but in the chest here, like, you can see wires and stuff, and then it can rotate like this, and it's even capable of a 360. That's impressive. The arms have articulation here, 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 and here, like a droid. Okay, this droid has such a great mold. It's got articulation everywhere. These shoulder things are like this, so they actually move with the droid. The head is rotatable. And then the legs, you can rotate like this, and there's articulation everywhere in them. And then it even will, like, move like how the Dark Troopers do. Like, you can, when you move it, it's like, well, just like how when the Dark Troopers move. They move like robots. They're slow and intimidating. And these droids are so intimidating, but the thing that I like the most about them is they're literally just two red triangles, and then everything else about them is just black. That's it. You're intimidated by two red triangles when you see the Dark Troopers on screen. Now, there's other detail all over this figure, like, for example, not just the center where it's wires and, like, gears and stuff. They have these gray articulation points throughout the entire figure, hand, arm, and they're everywhere, like on the legs, you'll see them. They're all over the figure, as they should be. On the chest, you can see these little red dots. Those are there to show that it is a machine. On the back, it's got some detailing here. I'll go up close as much as I can to try not to give you a glare. And then there's bits of silver throughout the entire figure, and they just did an amazing job with the decorating on this figure. It's got around its waist, like, attachments through, I guess, to make it stronger. And then for accessories, this droid has a blaster that the Dark Troopers use, and it looks just like your Dark Trooper blaster. It's a whole new mold for a blaster, and it looks really good. However, that is not the only accessory that we get. We actually have more. The hands on the Dark Trooper are removable, and you get these hands that you can use in case you wanted to... Oh, wait, no, that is the right hand. Okay. That you can swap it out with in case you wanted to make it that the Dark Trooper is punching something. Just like this. You can change them out for a fist, and there's one for both hands, a fist here. The other hands are a trigger finger for the Dark Trooper to hold his gun, and then an open hand for him to also hold the other end of his gun. And those are some pretty cool attachments. The only other accessory that you actually get are these flames for when they're flying that you can attach on their feet, like this. And now you can make it that your Dark Trooper is flying. Just like that. Those are easy to pop on and take off. And I'm actually going to put the trigger hand back on for the rest of the video. The figure, like I said, has great articulation, but it also has amazing posability. For example, like here, you can have it standing still, like it's just in single file line, or you can have it that it's about to move and is in the middle of battle, like so. And it'll still stand up because it's got great posability and it's balanced really well because it's a great mold for the Dark Troopers. And speaking of the Dark Trooper mold, I'm 1000% certain that they just reused Thrawn's training droids from Rebels as the Dark Trooper mold, because watch that scene in Rebels. Those droids are black and they have the exact same design as the Dark Troopers. I know the ones in Bad Batch kind of reused the Dark Trooper design to make them more intimidating. And speaking of those droids, we can actually get some of those droids using this same mold, because those droids have a very similar mold to Thrawn's training droids, which have a very similar mold to the Dark Troopers. So we could get Thrawn's training droids and the Bad Batch training room droids. And these droids are just so damn strong. I mean, it takes Mando at his full might just to take down one of them. None of his weapons work either, which is why it's so amazing when you see Luke show up and he's cutting through these droids like butter with his lightsaber, and it's awesome in that scene. Now, I think I'm going to take a quick break from the figure and talk about the box. And it's one of those bigger figures, as it should be, because you should have a bigger Dark Trooper. And on the side here, it's an amazing image of the Dark Trooper. On the back, you have the same image, and it's a wider figure, so it obviously will cost you $5 more. It's a small setback, but these Dark Troopers are amazing army builders. If you want a Dark Trooper army, you gotta buy this. This is the only Black Series you can get. Now, something that actually surprised me, the Dark Trooper is 28. It took them that long to do the Dark Troopers, and yet we'll have other random characters in The Mandalorian, like, well, Trapper Wolf. He has a Black Series. Now, I love the fact that they gave him one, and that it's actually Dave Filoni and everything. It's just, I think the Dark Trooper's a bit more important than Trapper Wolf. I really like this box. It's a nice box, and it supports your figure. For my final thoughts, I really love this Dark Trooper mold. They did an excellent job with it. There is one detail that I do not like about this figure, and I think it might be a misprint on mine exclusively. So, if you zoom in really close, there is a red dot on my figure. If you look at the thumbnail of this video, you'll see it. I don't know if that's just a misprint on mine or on the figures as total, so if somebody wouldn't mind letting me know down in the comments. But even then, I do not care, because this trooper has such an amazing mold and design. It works perfectly with this figure, and so I do not care. If the tiniest dot right here is the only issue on the figure, I do not care. And yeah, that's about it for this video. My final thoughts, this Dark Trooper easily earned a 10 out of 10 because, well, it's a great mold and it's helped us get so many other droids. And the box is pretty good too, so yeah, 10 out of 10 figure. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off, and I look forward to our next encounter in my next video.